Welcome to the London Horror Movie Club. I'm horror writer Lauren Jane Barnett.
And I'm Chris Sapikowski, Lauren's older brother, and I've been watching horror movies since I was 8.
Join us as we talk about the wild, weird, and wonderful horror films set in England's eerie capital.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. This is a special one because, as you can see, there's 3 of us here. We've got Lauren and Tony here. They're in North Carolina, dealing with the heat wave, but we have a special podcast here because I have picked yet another movie that we'll see if it was a boring one or not, like I'm used to doing. But we decided to watch an American movie, or I guess Canadian movie possibly, but In a Violent Nature, which just recently came out. I think in the UK it said the 12th of this month, and was on video on demand here. So we were going to review In a Violent Nature for you guys. So what'd you guys think?
Well, it's a big question. I mean, I like the concept. I enjoyed the idea of looking at a slasher, a killer in a slasher, but from the perspective of the killer. I thought that was a really strong idea. Did it fulfill its potential? Not really, for me. In much the same way as Skinnamarink was a great idea until you watch it. I mean, I know it wasn't as bad as Skinnamarink, but it was interesting to a point, but then there was a lot of nothing, which I understand was the point. There were some nice ideas. The time it takes the killer to catch a victim, you kind of see in the killer's time, which is quite fun. Because usually the killer's just walking, all of a sudden appears in front of the victim. So I quite liked that kind of prolonged, drawn out idea. Yeah. But do I need an hour of it? Yeah. I don't know. Once right. I get it, the joke's done. Move on, sort of thing, yeah. Mm-hmm. But there was maybe a little bit too much of that for me. What do you think?
Yeah, in case you haven't heard of the film, it's like the idea is like the Jason films, but from the perspective of the killer. So you have a camp area, there's some campers, and instead of following them in their story, you follow him, mostly from behind, as he walks to go kill everyone.
Which actually was interesting as well, because as a filmmaker, it was quite interesting, because you're watching it from the perspective of the killer, but it's not the killer's point of view. So it's like they didn't go far. They kind of stopped slightly before they should have done. What's that film? There's an action film where you see it from the perspective of the
like Agent 47.
No, is that Harry or Henry?
Oh, that's right.
Where I can't remember the film, but you see it from literally the point of view. So you never see
his person.
It's actually you see his hands and you see what he's doing, but you never see him. So do that or don't do it, but it seemed a bit strange just to follow this killer.
This was my problem from the start, and you both can vouch for the fact. From the start, I was like, I'm not sure about this, because the pitch for this movie is horror movies. Quintessential slasher movie does this. Let's show you everything they don't film. Like, that's a terrible pitch. We have made a film, which is all the stuff you want to watch. Let's see all the stuff you didn't want to watch.
And there's a reason they don't do that. There's
it's a great academic article. It's a great short film.
Great short film. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not a movie.
If you don't want character development, if you don't want storyline, and you just want fun kills, great. The movie hit on all points for me in that aspect, but then it left me wanting more. Where I was like, "Well, wait a minute," and to follow up on your point of like from the point of view of the killer, I've been thinking about this since we watched this last night. Probably one of the best kill scenes I've seen. I hadn't seen it before, anything like it. There's a kill scene in the movie, but that's from neither point of view.
Yeah,
they shoot it from kind of the side.
However, they think it's going to look the best.
It looks the best, exactly.
So you're thrown out of that world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But was 100% a great kill. So as a spoiler alert, this was the kill.
It was a great kill. It was really good. But I think that was the problem with it. It was a great kill. The special effects were great. When you watch it, you'll kind of know which one we're talking about. But there was a cartoon element to it as well that you weren't really expecting with the bleakness of the rest of the film.
Right.
You're seeing the boredom of this killer, just trudging. And then all of a sudden there's this very over-the-top, Terrifier-esque type kill, which was great to watch, but kind of was at odds with a lot of what I was watching, if that makes sense. I mean, I would watch. I would rather watch those kills all day. I mean, they were really good fun. Don't get me wrong, but it seems strange to go so over the top in that film. I don't know, and I think maybe you're right. I think there's nothing wrong with that, but the way it was filmed, you're taken out of out of what the killer's doing.
Had you done it from behind the person, you would not have seen any of it.
Or,
it would not have been a good kill.
choose to do it from the killer's perspective or the victim's perspective, but you're totally taken out of that.
And actually, that seems to be a theme with all the kills.
Yeah, all the kills were done from the traditional third-party perspective, the traditional camera third-party perspective, except the... Spoiler alert, I'm going to mention a specific kill, but it's not the super awesome kill. We're not ruining that for you. And actually, it's not even my favorite kill, which is a different one. They drop a cinder block on someone's head, and it's basically from the killer's perspective. It's from just above his head.
Okay, I can't remember.
That's the only one.
That would have been the closest one from his perspective, yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's not real. It doesn't feel like his perspective, even though the camera's just here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. It's not the camera angle.
Well, one's from across the lake.
Yeah, one you see from a great distance.
There's no spoiler alert there. You know it's coming for 5 minutes because he has to get there. So they never speed up him. And if they do speed him up walking, they do it in, like, you can see the light has changed, or you can see he's in a different area of the woods, but he's in the same speed the whole way.
I think that was I quite liked that though. So what happens is you see the two women, playfully flirting with each other on the side of the lake, as you do in Friday the 13th and the burning and everything else. And you see Johnny, the killer, on the other side, and you see him walk into the water. And then you cut back to these two ladies, and you kind of think any minute now, if this was Friday the 13th, or if this was the burning or whatever, he'd be popping up now, but because he's got to walk across the lake, the bottom of the lake, it takes forever. And I quite liked that. It was quite funny. And there's a build-up, and you think, well, actually, it would take him a bloody long time to walk across that lake,
Yep.
But the problem is that joke, as I said earlier, was played on too much.
Yeah, it was the whole.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it again in the beginning scene.
There was one bit I did like though, when he just basically just see him walking around, the killer walking, and there was one bit where I think it was to get an act or something, but he walks up to something, and instead of doing what he needs to do, instead of turning around to go to the victim, because he's on his own mission, he has to walk. He keeps going and walks around the house to come back again. Like he's not deviating, which I thought that was really fun.
Very cool. A very cool aspect. Got the time for him to come out. Got him where he needed to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
But but it's also an hour and a half of that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And I suppose the other problem is that seeing everything from the killer's perspective, you see the camp. To see the campers, whatever, you see them at the end of their campfire when they've just had their scary story or whatever, which again is quite good fun. But because you're not really seeing the victims, you don't care about them either. So I know you're not. I'm not saying the characterization in the Prowler or Rosemary's Killer or whatever is great. But at least you kind of get to know the characters a bit. Friday the 13th, there's the jock, there's the Joker, there's the slut, there's the geeky one. Yep. So you kind of build up a rapport with them a little bit, and you kind of sympathise with some, you don't with others. Whereas in this, there was none of that. Right. You just literally watching the killer, and then you watch the kills.
Well, and this is part of the thing of filming. When you're making a film, no matter what, whoever you sort of think is the main character is who you try to side with naturally as the audience. Like, we don't watch Cruella from the dogs and the friends perspective. We watch it from Cruella, and so she's going to be the hero we care about, even though she's about to murder a whole bunch of people. We like her. You in a horror film, you watch the ridiculous, stupid kids, and you go, "You're total idiots." Like Pumpkinhead, you watch these kids accidentally run over a child, and you're like, "You're horrible people." but I'm on your side in this battle because you're the ones I've been watching.
Right.
We're watching this guy, but it's not even from, it's from his perspective in the sense that we're following him, but it's not his story. We're not, we get this moment at the beginning of the film. They take this necklace that was supposedly his mom's, and that's why he crawls out of the ground and starts killing these people. But we don't have any, like, sympathy for him being upset. We don't have his story. We don't have anything like that. So it's not like we care about him either. And so you have no one, like, and so the camera's telling you we want this person's story, but we don't tell you that story.
Yeah, again, the exposition came from a third party again. So you're not really seeing it from anyone's, from the killer's perspective at all. Interestingly as well, the other thing, reverse kind of what I just said, was that instead of sympathising with the victims, you often, you kind of go into a slasher film like Jason, Freddy, wanting the kills. You kind of know who you want to die straight away because they're the dicks,
Yep.
They're the bullies, they're the arses, they're the ones causing the problem. You think, well, I can't wait till you die. And again, you want the killers to do away with them, but you don't get that aspect in this either, because you just haven't got enough of anything,
right?
To really care about. There was a great kill. I just liked. I won't give anything away. Where it was just hacking. Do you know that? So it goes on for so long, and it again overly long, but again that scene really worked. I thought that was really fun.
I thought they nailed all the kills. I mean, the first kill the second kill. So the second kill with the campers, was a great sequence. Yeah, but you could have watched a silent movie and done the same thing, because every conversation they were in, you got there late. So you don't even know what they're talking about. They're talking about other characters that you never see, you never hear about again, you didn't see in the beginning. So you don't know anything about these guys, but every kill was great.
Yeah.
Would this have been a much better film if they'd done it traditionally and we'd been like, okay, it's kind of a ripoff of Friday the 13th. They followed the campers show up, they take this necklace, and we get those same kills, but we're following the camper story. Would it have been a better film?
I think what we said last night, for me, I would rather watch a traditional slasher than watch that again. I admire the idea more than the end result. So I would rather watch it again from like we usually do, from the victim, one of the victim's perspectives. They focus on one of the characters, don't they? He usually ends up being the final girl or boy sometimes, but usually the final girl. And you kind of follow their story usually more so than the other characters. I think for me, if they kept it slightly more traditional, I think I'd have enjoyed it more. Yeah, I agree. But it was trying to be too. I don't want to use the word arty. It was a bit like, okay, I don't want to keep talking about bloody Skinnamarink. It was trying to be Skinnamarink. Yeah, it was trying to be Skinnamarink.
It had moments where it was specifically like the lake scene.
Yeah,
we're going to show you not what's happening.
Right.
Like there's the very first kill. You see a guy go into a house. You see him chase somebody. You don't see him die. You see him come back later, and then you see the guy dead in like a corner. It's showing you just away from what you want to see, and that was the point of Skinnamarink. Is it still scary if you're not seeing what you're hearing is scary?
No.
Do you know what? I wonder if
no, it's not. That's
no, it wasn't scary.
It's not scary.
And there were no scary film. And there were no surprises. There was no, I know people dislike jump scares. Or no jump scares. Well, Skinnamarink did have jump scares, but because you're literally watching nothing for half an hour, so it wouldn't matter what happened. As soon as something happens, you're going to go, what's going on? But yeah, there was nothing really in it. Now, unless like Skinnamarink, unless it doesn't matter where you're watching it. If that was a sort of Bill Viola, video installation in a gallery, maybe I would understand there's a concept there that didn't lend itself to entertainment.
Definitely didn't translate through.
No, that's where I am with it. Yeah, I mean there was some quite clever bits in it, but it didn't make for an hour and a half entertainment. Now, I don't. If it was an hour and a half in a gallery, I don't think anyone would watch it for an hour and a half either. They'd watch it for a couple of minutes, think, oh yeah, I get that. That's quite a good concept, you know. Right. And then move on to the Van Goghs, or whatever, you know.
So you asked, would you want to watch? Would it be a better movie if it was the traditional way? I think I mentioned it last night. I thought the main character, I guess, is Johnny the killer.
Yeah.
I thought he was menacing looking, because they do show him
eventually,
like at one level. So you're not from his point of view either, because they show his face, and then he also has a very menacing looking mask that he puts on, and they explain where the mask comes from. Is cool. Mask is very cool. Like, I really hope that mask shows up on my front step for trick or treating this year, because it's very cool and very creepy looking. But creepy would be the closest it got, or it was more like grotesque, like just because of the kills. But yeah, I would have rather seen, like, now I want to see the movie where they made where it's the traditional.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. But again, actually, interestingly, the makeup, you see his face as well, don't you? Like, without the mask on. And then, the makeup's fine, but it's very traditional slasher, slightly deformed character. They haven't really done anything particularly great with the makeup.
But I think they're trying to. I think the goal of this is to not make fun of, but to take on those older ones.
Yeah,
so they need to keep it within that reference point. So I'm okay with that.
Okay.
You're right. Okay. They could have done maybe more, but I get why they kept it old school.
Right.
Because that could be Jason's, mutilated.
Yeah. And again, like a lot of movies that we talk about, I feel like it went 10 minutes too long.
I reckon about an hour.
Okay, well, minus all that, there is a 10-minute sequence that felt like I was watching a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Again, I get that the point is, okay, the movie would have ended here, so let's show you what happens that they didn't film in the movie, which is the point of the movie.
Right, yeah.
There's a reason the movie ends traditionally where it does, because nobody cares about what awkward conversation. Never mind, I don't want to ruin it, but like nobody cares about the stuff that is boring and pointless. That's why it's boring and pointless. But I think that's your point about the art installation. The boring and pointless does have
that art installations are boring and pointless.
No,
that's what she said.
No, but like
well, it certainly can be. My degree, I did one for my degree piece, and it was pointless and boring. I can't deny it.
The fascination with the mundane has an art historical. They're giving me shit. The fascination with the mundane has an art historical precedent. You go all the way back to Van Gogh and the guys putting their shoelaces on. There's a fascination with the everyday that kind of works in an art context.
Right.
It doesn't. So, how many people are lining up to see the film where somebody in real time makes breakfast? But you put that in an art installation, and there's a point in the history behind it.
And it sells for millions.
I know. I'm not sure what to say about that.
So if you did it with other genres, like Grease, where you don't see the singing and the dancing, and you see all from the principal's point of view. I don't know. You see
classes. You see them take science class.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. For an hour, from bell to bell, and that's Grease. All of a sudden,
so it's a concept that works really good in your head.
Yeah.
And then when you lay it out there, because you're like, that would be great. You could make an hour and a half movie in an hour and a half. Yeah. Everything happens this way, and you're like, well, it doesn't.
Make it
here to here on paper does not translate. Right?
Yeah, I suppose I was going to sort of make a joke about you could have it be like a comedy film without missing out the comedy, without missing out the punchline. But I suppose it doesn't because it still does. It still delivers on the gore and it still delivers on the kills. Yeah. So you got to give it credit for that.
This is a very interesting question for somebody like me. I'm sorry. This is going to get very academic very quickly, but in a fun way. I promise. Okay.
Fun and academia.
This is the great academic question of what's a horror movie. Now that is an unanswerable question. I'll be the first to say that. People debate it for a reason. But this is a horror movie that isn't trying to scare you. This is a horror movie that isn't built on tension. This is a horror movie that is not that and are informed on all parts of the negative bits at all times, but it gives you gore.
I think I would classify this as a horror movie,
but
a non-scary horror movie.
But that's the thing, is like, what is, because the horror genre was invented as a certificate. It was actually like something to warn people, this is what to expect when you go in. It wasn't a genre, it was the H certificate.
Okay.
And it was because it would really upset you.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, this is gory. but I've been far more upset by gore in other films.
Or being upset by films that aren't gory.
Or upset by films that aren't gory. I wasn't upset at any point in this film. Okay, the gore is detailed, but because of the way it's presented, it didn't seem like I went, but like, it was more like, oh, interesting what they're doing. Oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, that's kind of cool. I wasn't like, oh my God, you watched a movie the other day where somebody was just, it was like a Jack Reacher. He put his eyes in his eyeballs. I was like, oh!
We watched some the other day. The Ruins.
Oh my God!
And it was horrible. It was the divine and the body and the things going through. And there was like bits where it wasn't even that. It was the human kind of. It was but they were doing horrible things to each other because they were thinking it was for the best, and they were horrible to watch.
That's unsettling.
Yeah,
and
that was unsettling.
I don't think I found the gore in this.
It wasn't
horror unsettling.
No. I think it's because go on.
Go ahead.
We're kind of taken out of what we expect from a slasher film. And our, I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew a little bit about it. I knew it was kind of from the perspective you told me about, from the perspective of the killer. But I knew what that meant, but I didn't know how that was going to translate. So it was hard to put a finger on what we were watching, and therefore I think because I was trying to work it out all the time.
It took you out of the movie.
It took me out of the movie. Yeah, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying maybe that's sort of the director wants, because I was thinking about it for a lot of the time. So on that level, it works.
Yeah.
But I couldn't recommend it to someone as a whole. I would recommend it to someone to say, "Well, have a look at this."
Yeah.
Because there's some interesting parts to it.
You wouldn't say you got to see this.
No, I would have a look at this because there's some cracking gore. But there's some good ideas behind it.
I do. I was gonna say I think it delivered on the fact that there's nothing really going on. I mean, you know what's going on. There's no surprises, and the kills are good, and that was like the high point of it.
Yeah,
because at least there weren't like really lame kills.
Yeah, or always off screen. It started out always being off screen.
Yeah,
I was like,
but that was going to be dangerous to go forward.
Quite interesting because I know we disagree on this, but I think the Terrifier films are fantastic. But again, there's not really much happening other than the kills. But to me, it works because the character of Art the Clown is quite unnerving.
100%.
He's there. He's not there. He's the face, the kind of
facial expressions,
the expression. The fact he's just sitting in a cafe.
Yep.
He's just there in everyday life in the world. He's not in the middle of nowhere. It's not a campsite. There's something quite unsettling about that. The gore is quite fantastic. I mean, again, that's horrible. The second one again is bonkers. I absolutely loved it. I know it's like 1,000 years long, and it kept me glued to the screen. So it's interesting though that this one didn't. But I suppose obviously that's a more traditional horror film, a slasher film.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would, and I'll admit, I'm not a huge fan of Terrifier. I don't think they're terrible, but I'm not. It's just not. I don't get as much out of it. But I do think it's a better made, more engaging, entertaining film than this film was, than In a Violent Nature.
Yeah, I don't think it was entertaining at all. I mean, if you close your eyes and we tell you there's a movie shot from the killer's perspective in the woods, getting a group of young people. Can't say they were teens. I wouldn't know, but they look like they were in their 20s.
Yeah.
But you would picture pretty much what we watched, or what you would think.
Yeah.
There was nothing shocking about it.
No, except that one really awesome kill, which is like roughly in the middle. It was really creative.
It would have been cool though if you would have been in any other movie. You put it in Jason movies, you put it in anything else.
Put it anywhere.
It would have been great. So it's still one of my favorite kills of all time.
Oh yeah.
So it's hard for me to be like I didn't like the movie because I'm like that was so genius. Great.
The things as well. I've got a problem with films that make me think, or films that do offer something new. And I love that. But this one didn't quite hit the mark. The idea was there. The concept I get, and I think some of it worked, but it was too much of the same. Once you got the joke. What's happened now? Like, I've got it. Now what?
Yeah. It doesn't level up.
No.
I think that's what you said. It's a genius short film. To me, it's the problem of editing. This is a great idea. This is very cool visually, but it's not for that long format.
You could have thrown it all under in 20 minutes.
Absolutely. And I think it would have been, if you'd seen the 20-minute thing, you'd be like, Chris Nash is going to be the greatest director ever.
Yeah.
Because the 20 minutes were amazing.
Yep.
But blowing it out that way loses the impact
Now, Chris
of what
Nash,
he's done.
From what I understand, directed a scene from a section from ABC's of Death 2.
Death 2, yeah.
Z for Zygote, Z for Zygote, I should say. But I have seen it. I can't remember. I've got to be honest.
I don't remember that one.
He had something to do with The Void. I think he was in it. I don't know. Which I think is a good film until the last 20 minutes.
Did they talk about a bear in that movie?
They talk about.
Did they talk about a bear?
A bear
in the last 20 minutes of that movie.
What was that? So it's back. It's funny. There's something about a bear, and we were like trying to work this out for ages. Is he the bear? Is he not the bear? Who's the bear? Is the mum the bear?
We spent more time talking about the bear than the movie.
Yeah.
It's the ending. You got to watch it, and then you'll. Yeah. Well, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to.
You don't have to.
But yes, if you watch it, you'll be like, wait a minute, what? The bear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's in the sequel.
I was going to say that's the sequel. That's the plot of the sequel. And I can tell you right now, Chris Nash, if this is the sequel, 30 minutes? I think you can get out of that story.
Yeah. 30 tops.
30
Director's cut 35.
Yeah. But you know what? I feel like I've criticised it a lot, because I have. But there is stuff to take out of it. It's worth a look if you want to test the waters with something a little bit. It's different kind of slasher, and watch some good kills. So, but yeah, there's a lot that doesn't work.
And since we'll end on positive notes, there are 2 scenes in there, and I will try not to ruin this. There's a scene in the ranger station, and there's a scene in the cabin or around the cabin that are both actually really cleverly shot and really cleverly laid out. They're quite good scenes. I love the ranger station scene a lot. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but that sequence is a very strong scene. Yeah. I can't fault that scene. Yeah. Everything around it, I have no comment. And I really like we briefly mentioned this, so spoiler alert, but we briefly mentioned this earlier. There's a scene where he goes. Did we mention going around the house?
Yes.
Where he in real time goes around the house. That was a really effective use of me following him in real time.
Yes.
Those 2 scenes are actually really great. Yeah. So there is a lot of good directing hidden.
No, I don't think it was bad. I don't think it hit the way that the thought was. I'm glad I saw it for the reasons of I've had people recommend it and say, this is amazing. It's what you want out of that movie. And I've had like positive recommendations for it. I'm glad I watched it to see what the hype was in that sense. I'm glad I watched it because like we've said, there are great scenes in the movie. It's just I could just go follow you in the backwoods here for the next 30 minutes and I can see half of the movie.
It's very easy when you talk about this, and again, Skinnamarink and things like that. It's very interesting. It's very easy to be quite pompous and think, actually, it's very good. It really subverts the genre. It doesn't. It does to a certain extent, but if you're not going to do anything interesting with it, then you're not subverting it. You're not doing what you think you're doing. You're trying to do something different, and it really isn't working. And if it's not entertaining on any level, have you succeeded? Maybe again, but that turns back to art, film, entertainment. I don't know.
That is a really good point. I think a very important thing, particularly in film, is if you're going to do something that's specifically trying to be different, you have to have a reason why.
Yeah.
This felt like it was just showing you that it was different to be like, hey, different.
Hey, we're
so
doing
look at the
different.
different thing.
Yeah.
But okay.
But that's not enough. You need to then. I tell you what it's like. It's a bit like do you know when you have a ventriloquist with a ventriloquist dummy, or somebody, or even better actually, somebody who does a comedian who does impressions. Right, a comedian can do impressions. And that's great, but unless the comedian then tells jokes of the impressions, there's no, or the jokes are funny. There's no point in doing them.
Right.
So it might be great that you've got the ability or the idea behind it, but unless you can actually make that work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that is kind of where I felt this was. Also, when you just mentioned the Ranger, actually, it's quite interesting. if you were going to do a sequel, imagine, and you wanted to make it even more boring than this one, you could do it from the Ranger's perspective, who just popped up to tell the campers at the beginning that might go down because something's happened 30 years ago. Then piss off again, have dinner with their family or whatever. Come back, find a couple of dead bodies, then get killed. Done.
But make sure that the premiere is at the Tate Modern.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
so you just rent out a room.
Yeah.
You can have the premiere there.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've beaten this movie to death.
Yeah.
Which he deserved.
Like the scene where he is
just doesn't
beating someone to death. But yes, we've heard more talking. You've heard more talking from us than there is in the entire movie. So, watch this as a companion piece with the movie. So
we're the director's commentary.
Yes, exactly. But also, I'm happy that Tony's here because Tony was our first interview on the podcast.
I'm gonna try.
And you've been up to quite a bit in the last 13, 14, 15 months.
Yeah, because that long. Wow.
I think it has been.
It's longer. It's last January.
January, February, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm not a math guy.
We were going to film Rabbit. Is that right?
Yeah, that was when we last talked.
So for Horrorscopes 2, so our section was called Rabbit. So if you don't know, so the first Horoscopes was 12 directors, 12 star signs. And then Horoscopes 2, 12 directors, and the Chinese zodiac. So we pulled Rabbit out the hat. And we pulled Rabbit out the hat. Oh my goodness. Well, and that's it. I'm never saying another word because I'm never going to top that.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. And drop mic. No. So that went down really well, actually. So that's in Horoscopes 2.
So when we were on the interview, we asked you about it, and you said at the time you made a joke about the idea of being a rabbit vibrator because of Libra being
That's right.
But tell us what it ended up being.
Okay, so actually I co-directed with James Newton, who's
been on
the podcast. He's a great director, great ideas. We kind of went away, thought of some ideas. I really, really wanted a stoning, a good old-fashioned stoning.
Not with
as
pot.
one does,
not with pot, with stone.
No. Yeah. I thought, well, I haven't seen a stoning for a while, and I thought it could be quite unpleasant, quite nasty. Yeah. And so we thought, okay. So then I was talking to James. We both came up with a few ideas, but then James had a great idea about a forensic sort of lab table, and the what would you call your character? Because wasn't it?
So technically, I'd be a forensic scientist.
Forensic scientist. So there's a word though. What's that? Quincy, medical examiner.
I'm a medical examiner. For,
who
like
does the bodies?
But for a rabbit.
So having basically an autopsy of a rabbit on the table, and I played the policeman, and we're trying to work out how this rabbit died. It's very sort of surreal. And then we have the stoning sort of thrown in. Well, I'm not going to give too much away, but it was really effective, actually. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was. I was very proud of it, actually.
It got a lot of good reviews.
Yeah.
It came out in Horror and C, and it got a lot of good praise.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff in Horoscopes too, and I think ours sits in there, really nicely with some of the better ones. It sounds big-headed, doesn't it? Because they're all fantastic. I dig myself out that one, Tony. No, they're all absolute masterpieces. But I think ours sits there quite comfortably. And then still finishing Witches of the Sands. We're nearly done. Thank you so much. Repping the tea. We had our last location shoot a few weeks ago. And we have a couple of studio shoots to go. Simon Bamford is coming back. So Simon Bamford you will know from Hellraiser 1 and 2. He played Butterball Cenobite. But he was talking to Clive Barker about witches, which makes me very happy. I was like, whee! That was very cool. And so that's going to be out at the end of next year, hopefully. And then we've got so much going on, actually.
Well, so you're filming next month, Video Shop Tales of Terror 2.
Video Shop Tales of Terror 2, yeah. Co-directing with Alex for that, which I'm really looking forward to. I've shot my scenes as Mr. Daniels already, which will be in it. We're doing a really fun little film for that. I won't give too much away, but it's based around the porn industry and alien vaginas. I think
that gave quite a lot away.
I won't say any more than that. which is but it's very funny. It's very entertaining. I think we'll sit in there really quite happily. The next month I'm directing a film called Served, which was written by Carl Staples and produced by the Misty Moon guys, Stuart and Jen Morris, who are good friends of ours. Really looking forward to that. It's got Mark Benton and Carolyn Pickles in it. So, we're doing that at the Phoenix Arts Club in the West End. That's going to be great. It's a short film. Then after that, we've got Dana with Adrienne King from Friday the 13th, the final girl from Friday the 13th. That's going to be really exciting. Again, that was written by Lauren. Adrienne King loved the story. And again, produced by Stuart and Jen Morris for Misty Moon. So that's going to be amazing. And the next year, again with Stuart and Jen, I'm directing Elvis versus Zombies.
Such a cool title.
Now, I'm not sure if it is a great title, but it is because the script is fantastic. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, it sounds. I think zombies have been done to death. Elvis, I'm not sure. The script's fantastic. The script's absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to interrupt here. I thought, as a lay for Elvis versus Zombies, I was like, I'm totally going to see that.
100%.
Thank you. It's a great title.
100%. I saw it, and you said the same thing to me. Like, I wasn't too sure. And I'm like, wait, that wasn't an immediate yes right away.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Stuart read the script and he said it was great, and I trust Stuart's judgment implicitly. But I saw Elvis versus Zombies. I mean, do we need another Elvis song? Do we need another zombie film?
Yes.
Okay, yes, we do. And actually, and having read the script, it's an emphatic yes. There's a great cast building up. Again, Mark Benton's in it. So many people. I won't go into it now because I'm going to forget someone, and I'll get in trouble.
Check it out on Facebook.
Yeah, have a look on Facebook. Yeah. Have a look on Facebook. That's kind of it at the moment. That's enough, really, for now.
That is enough. I'm glad you're getting to spend a week not working.
So I'm having a lovely time in North Carolina. Thank you very much. This is wonderful. And it's just everything's great. Everything's going really well. I'm just looking forward to getting a couple of projects kind of.
Now that you've filmed so much of witches, do you have any favorite scenes that you just love to pieces?
Whoa. Well, obviously working with Linnea Quigley was fantastic.
That came out. If anybody has seen Starburst magazine, they just did a 4-page spread about the scene he did with Linnea Quigley. The current issue has a big 4-page spread of us, which is great. And that was fun. I mean, it was working with Linnea Quigley, and then we went to lunch in Brick Lane afterwards, and we just had this lovely curry, about 13 of us. And the best thing, so we're just sitting there with Linnea Quigley, chatting about horror films, and the way to start sort of listening. And so imagine a sort of an Indian-looking John Waters. Yeah, very skinny.
Yeah, so skinny, got a little moustache, kind of a bit of hair. And he said, so he started talking about horror films. All of a sudden, he's talking about Roger Corman, Dario Argento, John Waters, Lucio Fulci, a load of different people you would not expect. So all of a sudden, this waiter was like the best person ever. And he was like, you've seen Return of the Living Dead? He's like, yeah. I said, this is Linnea Quigley. He's like, I don't know if he actually believed us or not. You know what I mean? But it was really funny. Then we went back the other week with my son, and he recognised us again and chatted away to us. He was like so cool.
He's doing some great films.
Yeah, but he was chatting about who was not Fulci. So he was telling us about he used to when in the 90s, 80s, 90s when stuff wasn't available in England. He would used to import and swap tapes with Denmark.
Yeah.
So I used to do that to a certain extent in Holland. So I knew this whole Denmark thing was new to me. But so he was like this. He was talking about these uncut versions of this, and whatever. And I'm like, you're like literally the coolest waiter ever.
Yeah.
You're the coolest. And it was mad.
You never know what you're gonna get over.
And the fact he looked like John Waters as well was just absolutely bonkers. It was so funny. So that was a great time. And then we took Linnea the next day around lunch. We went to pop around London, and she was desperate to go to TK Maxx and Boots to get some makeup. So that was quite fun. So we took Linnea and a few other bit of sightseeing as well. So that was an amazing weekend. Another scene I really liked was basically the progress of a character I play called Thorn Lancer. So he's a German. and you see him as a kind of young guy going off to war, and he kills his girlfriend. And you see him, the next time you see him, he's a little bit older. Next time you see him, he's Reichsfuhrer, and he's really nasty, and he's, high up in the Nazi regime. And then you see him as an old guy, and it's a scene that you're in. That was a great kind of character progression, and there isn't a huge amount of character progression in Witches of the Sands. So it was actually quite nice to have one that does actually progress.
You say progression. Let me just point out that he starts out as like a sort of nice normal guy, and then becomes
like a Bavarian
Nazi,
singing.
and then he remains a Nazi until he's murdered for being a Nazi. There's not like loads of character progression.
Well, no, hey.
We're not critiquing the movie yet.
Yeah. All of my favourite scenes don't have Lauren in them.
No. I just was like, it's not. It's more about his story and what happens to him than his character.
Okay,
I think it's more of the plot.
Okay, there is more of the plot. I think you're right. I was over-egging the fact that I wrote him and play him.
It is a creepy character.
I mean, there's been so many great scenes. I can't start mentioning names again because I'll be here all day. But I'm very thankful to the core guys who've been in it from the beginning, like Andy and Jay came on late, and many others who are now I need to mention. No, because I'll be here all day. But many thanks to everyone. There's loads of people. There's loads of great scenes. There's bonkers scenes. There's I don't know how we're going to get past uncut.
The censors are going
to be all over it. There's everything in it we can't get away with showing is in Witches. So we'll see. So that's where we are with Witches. But we've got I don't want to go on about Witches.
Okay, how about Mr. Daniels? You just got to see Mr. Do you have?
So if you're in America and you have Tubi, Video Shop Tales of Terror is on Tubi now, and so I watched that, and I saw the character of Mr. Daniels. It's great. I'm glad he's coming back. He's creepy.
I love
he's
Mr. Daniels.
A bit.
I love Mr. Daniels.
He's creepy in a fun way.
He's creepy. He's a bit pervy.
A bit.
He's a great character to play.
He's going to be with alien vaginas.
I love him. The first time I played Mr. Daniels was in a film called Mosaic, but that didn't come out. That didn't get finished until after Video Shop. So, I was trying to think, it doesn't really matter which order you watch them in. But, Mosaic, then Video Shop 1, and then Video Shop 2 will be in as well. I love him. He's a strange little character.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's got to be fun to play.
He's amazing to play. It's like a dream come true. Yeah.
Where did Mr. Daniels come from?
My inner self. No.
Did Alex go, you're going to play the super pervy guy?
I think, Alex gave me the script. So Alex obviously saw something in me. Alex gave me the script, and I just kind of came up with the mannerisms and the voice. And once you get it, so basically he's got like sort of hair's all greasy and parted, and he's got sort of really pale white face. He's got chapped lips and everything like that, and he's kind of hunched up like that, and it's got sort of really sort of anorak and things on, Crocs, and so once the costume comes on,
switch it on.
Just switch it on, and sometimes it takes far too long to switch him off, even after the costume.
Well, I'll be honest, when I watched it, like I was like, wait a minute, was that Tony? Like, wait, if I rewound it, it was good. Like, when I don't look at you now and think, oh, it's Mr. Daniels.
Good.
So that's a good thing. And it is a good thing.
It's good you haven't got any videos. The first time I played, we were shooting Mosaic in an office in Essex, and they made it out to like a police station. So I'm in the police station, and I'm doing my bits and pieces, and I have to walk out the front door. So I did this a couple of times. And I walked out at one point, and there was people just walking past outside, and a couple of them stopped and said, "Are you okay?"
No.
I just members of the public, "You're right." I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just acting." They're like, "Whoa!" So I was like,
I would have probably been the same way. Oh yeah.
No, but that was quite nice. It was quite nice. I felt, I felt like I was, something. I must be doing something okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have to stay in character outside, but I couldn't help it, But so they were really concerned for me. There's these two guys, like young geezers, like, "You right, mate?" I'm, "Yeah, fine." I'm saying, "Well, okay." Yeah, so that was funny. No, I absolutely loved. I love playing Miss Daniels. Yeah.
Well, check it out on Tubi if you're in
Video
the States,
Shop. Video Shop Tales of Terror.
Right.
So guess what we got today?
Okay, let's do this.
Guess what? I went to Walmart.
He was so excited to go to Walmart.
I've been to Walmart and I've been to Target. But in Walmart, we found these midnight movie little blind bags. So I've got 3, one for each of us. So I thought it'd be quite fun to open them and see what we get. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So should I just throw one at you and one at you, and then who's going to go first?
Right,
you guys go. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're putting me on
This
the
is very
spot.
exciting. So each one's got slightly different ones.
Even these figurines are 17 plus.
Oh, whoa! There you go. Oh, mine's not.
What?
Oh.
You've got mine is.
Hey,
You've got the baby one.
Oh, I've got Freddie and Jason.
Okay.
I've got Paw Patrol. I've got the Paw Patrol one. Damn.
See, you put me on the spot to open it.
So I'm telling you who I'm hoping for out of my pack. Before I open it, I'm hoping for.
I want Beetlejuice. I would like Beetlejuice. That's
Reagan.
a big part of my childhood.
I think so. I'm a big Exorcist fan.
Okay, what are you hoping for?
I don't know. There's some out Candyman or Teen Wolf.
There's some exclusives as well, which we don't know. So that'd be a good one.
Okay, here we go. I got it.
Who are you going to get? I'm not yet. I'm not looking. I'm being patient.
Okay, what'd you? Oh,
okay, what's
I think
that?
we have Wednesday Addams.
Wednesday Addams, all right.
No,
Wednesday
that's terrible.
Addams.
Oh.
Well, there was options, and Wednesday was one of them.
What were your other options?
I had Candyman, Hannibal Lecter, Teen Wolf, Carrie. I don't know if that's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or Freddy Krueger.
So I tried to watch that Wednesday series.
Was Wednesday night?
I didn't get it. I watched as much as I could, and I just turned it off.
I tried. It wasn't.
It was for kids. It was for kids.
It was. Yeah.
It was for kids.
I can't open mine.
Chris can open. Chris is my father. Chris is American
Oh no!
strong.
There goes. Okay, so I've got several cool looking options, but I'm hoping for Beetlejuice because that was
Wednesday Addams. Oh
my god! I totally win. I've got Gizmo.
No, you don't. You don't win. They're both.
Okay, this made our holiday Christmas movie list. This is actual London Horror Movie Club fan favorite approved.
But I'm still not convinced that Gremlins is a horror film. I'm
it's
not
a
convinced.
monster movie. What's more horror than a monster? It's literally a monster. They've invented the horror certificate for monster movies.
I know, but my problem is, it's not designed as a horror film, is it? It's not designed to scare. It's not designed to horrify. It's designed to be an entertaining film.
It is designed to scare you, but at a certain age.
Is it?
When you are
Children
13 and you are watching that at 13,
I don't know if 13-year-olds now would get scared by Gremlins.
I was 13 in the 80s. When you were 13, that was scary. I mean, they do creepy. Like it's an age appropriate scare. I think.
So I'm not sure if
I think it's a horror movie.
I'm not sure if so if that's what a 13-year-old scared at something, it doesn't necessarily make it a horror film.
No, but it is intending to scare the 13-year-old with the creepy because they go creepy.
It's an audience specific.
Yeah,
I think it's a horror movie.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't in the same way I don't really think Die Hard's a Christmas film, but that's different. It's a different story.
You're wrong on that one. I mean, 100% a Christmas movie.
What
are you ready?
Here we go.
I want Reagan.
No!
I got the best one. I got the best one.
Okay, so I gotta say, of the ones,
that's the best one.
The best. Mine is super cute.
You've got kind of kids stuff.
Yeah.
You got Reagan. Old school. Yeah, he wins.
I lost.
I mean, I liked Wednesday a lot growing up.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, It's not bad. It's
It's
Wednesday.
just-
It's just like
I've got
she's
nothing
not
against.
scary.
I've got
Not
nothing.
Regan.
I've got nothing against the Addams family.
You have something against my grandma.
I don't mind. It's not actually. If you look at it, it's not actually.
He's adorable.
It's not actually
Oh.
very good, is it?
No.
It doesn't. Does it really look like Gizmo?
This one could have been fantastic. It has Ash.
It has Ash.
I didn't even
Ah,
recognize
well,
Ash on
that's
there.
an option. Oh, actually, to be fair, I have both as options. I have Regan as an option. I've also got Freddy and Jason as my potential option. So I had some classic horror.
Well, I'm quite happy because I wanted Regan, and then I got Regan.
and then
There you go.
That's so uncool. You rigged it.
I just got the emo girl.
There
Just
was-
like an
there was
emo.
no
People are going to
rigging.
think I'm emo if I carry it around on my keys. Like I listen to My Chemical Romance and just write dark
You have to
poetry.
get a wig with like
Yeah,
hair
oh,
down.
yeah, I don't have any hair. I can't
Oh,
do that.
man.
But oh,
I was all
oh.
excited because I was like, once we got ours, it was gonna be like, okay, who wins the like horror wars? But I mean, it's Regan.
It's
Like,
not even.
Regan is the
Well,
horror
this is the only. This is the only one is horror.
It's
There's
a
only literally
classic.
only one horror film here. So
It's the only one we can all agree that
It's
it's
a
horror.
classic horror.
No one's
going to
mistake that for
film.
not horror.
Yeah.
which one here is the horror film?
Let me get this one wet, and we'll talk.
Okay,
good point.
you got me there.
That's a good point.
you.
That's a
Put
good
it in the
point.
microwave. Well, yeah,
Exactly.
the blender. It's the blender, isn't it?
Blender
The
is a
blender.
great one.
Yeah.
The blender is a great
Okay.
one.
No, I do.
Well,
I
this was
do.
great.
I do. Don't get me wrong, I
This
do
is a
love
good idea.
Gremlins. I do
This is
love
a good
Gremlins.
idea.
You know, but it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. People say, "Well, that horror film." It's not really. It's just got big blood in it. It's not horror. But
Raiders. Who says Raiders of the Lost Ark is a horror?
I don't know. I've never heard that before. I'm just trying to back my argument up.
With like the world's worst argument.
With the world, yeah. I'll suss that very quickly. That's why you should lie in an argument.
There you go. Yeah, don't lie in an argument. All right.
Can't follow the lies.
That's terrible.
No, a web of deceit.
Mm.
A web.
Okay, so since we got the three of us and we're still talking horror movies, and this didn't turn out to be like the world's most exciting horror battle, we are
It was
playing.
one. It was lopsided.
Yeah.
100%.
Can't believe that. I feel like I've. It looks like I've done
You
that. I've
rigged
rigged
this,
it, but
yeah.
I swear. To,
No, I think it
swear
worked out
to God,
perfect.
I didn't.
You got to go to Walmart and you
Yeah.
got
You
the
got
winning
me.
bag from
I
Walmart.
know. I feel like I need to go back to mine and get some more.
Yeah, seriously, just to keep like
Yeah.
dipping it.
Yeah, I want to feel it to make sure it's not plushy.
Okay, we got to make sure we do horror movie you want to see.
Yep.
So, let's start with guest Tony.
Yep.
You're the special guest.
I'll
Horror
tell you what I
movie
do want to see that I've seen a trailer for, and I think it's called Long Legs. Yes!
Shit.
Oh, it's all coming up, Tony.
All right, I can go with the second one real quick. I gotta get the name
I'm just
right.
trying to think if there's anything else I'd really like to see then.
No, Long Legs looks like a
I
good
think Long
one.
Legs is fun. I am looking forward to seeing Immaculate because
You didn't.
I
you
haven't
fell
watched it. I fell
asleep.
asleep. I fell asleep.
okay.
That is not a reflection
No,
of the film.
because
It's
it
a
looked
very
great.
good film.
I'd just been away if I'd done something, hadn't I?
Yeah, no, you just came back. He just came back from a horror con and was exhausted.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So no, Immaculate's really good.
Okay.
Okay,
Covering mine.
you have one.
Don't
This
cheat.
is the thing. I don't
I have a 1A
I'm-
after Long Legs.
I mean, I haven't seen Arcadia. No, not Arcadia. What's the other name?
Arcadian.
Acadian. I haven't seen
I
Arcadian.
liked Arcadian.
Which he recommended.
Yep.
I know that's not as new because it's out now, but
Right.
I do really want to see that. I don't know if that counts. Does that count as a?
I don't know.
I think it'll
Sounds good.
count.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
count.
Well, if Gremlins counts, anything counts.
Scarier than
He's gonna
Gremlins.
eat you in your sleep.
All right, I'm going to go with this. I don't know anything about this movie. I just know the cast and the name of the movie.
Okay.
And I'm going to put... Someone told me about it. I know Heretic.
Oh,
It has Sophie Turner and Hugh Grant.
Oh,
okay. And it's a
That
new
sounds
film, is it?
fascinating.
It's coming out this year, this summer, or I guess now probably fall.
$20 says Hugh Grant's the heretic. I mean,
I don't even know what the heretic means, but it sounds good.
yeah, I mean, it's because so back in the day, I know it was like anybody who spoke out against the church. I wonder if nowadays that's still what it means. Do you know?
Or is this going to be our coven?
Coven versus
Coven.
nuns versus witches? I'm gonna write
Witches.
something about nuns versus witches.
But no, I'll go with Heretic. Long Legs is definitely the one I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to. I saw one preview. I don't want to see anything else. I want to go in kind of blind.
It looks good. Is it true? Now, was this a rumor? I haven't heard anything about it for a while. They were going to remake Arachnophobia.
Oh, I heard
Yeah,
I
that.
don't know
I've
if
heard them
that's
remaking
true
it. I've heard them
or not,
remaking it.
because do you know what I would like actually? I'd like to see the original again because I really enjoyed Arachnophobia, and a little tribute to Julian Sands as well.
Hey, guess what? Monster movie.
Yeah, because it's about spiders, killer spiders, thousands of killer spiders
Have
everywhere.
Have you seen or heard about it's a French movie, and now I bring it up. It's kind of like arachnophobia, and it's
Oh yes.
Infested.
infested. Yes.
So we tried to watch it, and something went weird.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what it was. We were tired and we wanted to watch something bit easygoing. And we wanted to watch it, the subtitles, when we were more awake.
Right.
Because we were
That's
tired.
why I turned it off when I did.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't pay attention to this, and everything's
It
going
looked
on.
great. I want to watch it, but I needed to watch something. We needed something a bit easygoing.
Gotcha.
Which makes it sound a bit simple, but we can read subtitles. But it's good. You've got to be in the right. You've got to be in the right frame of mind. You've got to be in the right place.
Context for this was we were away traveling in Denmark, and it's like the little
That's
hotel
right.
TV,
Yep.
and
That's
we've
right.
just been doing loads and traveling, so your
Yeah.
brain isn't in the right space.
Right,
And then by
yeah.
the time we got home, the rental had ended, so we like paid to rent.
Oh,
That's right, yeah.
no. But I had heard that's
Yeah, no,
very
I
good.
would
so-
want to see that. That's a good one.
Great.
Yeah, sure.
You know what's not great that I watched on the plane? Night Swim. So you watch things on a plane, and you're not expecting plane films to be amazing, are you? You're watching them on a tiny screen. You can hear the engines. It's not like but Night Swim was just it was an okay idea. The wishing well is a horror concept. That's the idea.
Yeah.
You get your wish, but it's bad stuff happens in order to get the wish.
It's this kind of family's swimming pool, isn't it? It comes up from a natural spring or well or something,
Right.
from what it underground. So it's like the idea of like saying,
Yeah,
wish him
the
well.
dad really he was a baseball player, and he wishes
He's injured, and then
Yeah,
he
he
like
wants-
goes swimming, and all of a sudden
MS.
he's like,
MS. Yeah, so it stopped his career,
and
then
he goes for a swim and is cured, but
But
in exchange,
there are consequences.
Yeah.
I
The
must.
water
Can I
ones.
just say something really quickly that I've forgotten? I must say I was in another film, The Domestication of Vampires in Essex. A friend of mine, Angie, who's producing, she wrote it, she's directing it. Jay, who I had a scene with, he's from SFX from Witches. Andy was DOPM, again from Witches, and some others on cast. Very small cast. It was really interesting. I play a policeman again. I love playing policeman. Detective. And it was great. So I had to just mention that quickly because I've forgotten. I was only in it for like literally half a day. I had one scene, but it was a great experience, and I think I've got high hopes for that. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you did because it has other London horror movie connections.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jay was on here. Georgie Harriet King, the actress who was on
great.
here, she's in it, and Angie, who he's mentioned, produced and wrote it, is gonna come on when it's premiering for us. So
Awesome.
it's very London horror.
And Sam, who was in Storage Hunters UK. Yes.
Is one of the
Now,
actresses.
wow, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was addicted to Storage Hunters, the American. I liked what I can't remember his name is now.
The Yep guy.
Yeah, no, yeah. But all that, and
he was Monkey Boom was his thing.
yeah, there was a
Oh, okay, I
British
know
one,
that guy,
King
yeah.
Kong Monkey Boom. He got Sam because he actually did die.
Doesn't make him
Heavy
less
D,
annoying.
Rip Heavy D. But yeah, so Sam was in that, and I was kind of addicted to that whole. I was addicted to the American ones, the Storage Wars, New York Storage Wars, Texas Storage, wherever. I was like, yeah, baggage wars, whatever. And then they did one in the UK, and there's loads of horrible people in it. And then, but it was quite. It's like once you start watching it, it's like, what are you find in this locker? And then, anyway, so Sam was in Domestication of Vampires in Essex, and I knew her from watching Storage Wars UK. So that was very exciting for me.
That was cool.
Yeah. That was that.
No,
That was that. So I did need to mention that. Sorry.
No, it's
Yeah,
good.
no,
that you
it's
did.
good. I'm
It's like
glad.
you said, it's got connections. Oh, boo. Okay, so from Gremlin, Wednesday, and Reagan.
Oh, actually, is this like do we have resemblances here?
I hope not.
Supposed to be?
Emo? No.
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 Okay. I thought it might work.
Right. So as I was saying,
Sorry.
Reagan, Gremlin, and Wednesday. Thank you for watching
Yes.
the London Horror Movie Club this month. It's been a different one. Yay! Join us again. Obviously, now that this is coming out in August, we're getting close to October. Remember that in September we've got one interview as usual, but in October, every single week, we're going to have an interview for you. We've got some great people. We've got, obviously, actors. We've got people who run, like, the Dark Fest is coming on and who does a magazine about horror films. We've got another special effects artist. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, yeah, and hopefully we'll see you next month. Thanks for watching.
Right. See ya.
Bye!
If you want to share your thoughts about this episode, please head to our Facebook or YouTube pages. We're grateful to Kukurbit, who made our music. Thank you for listening, and please join us next time for the London Horror Movie Club.